Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD Starcraft and I'm here for game 2 between EG Jaedong and Lucifron from Team Mousesports here in the DreamHack Summer Open. Hope you guys have enjoyed this set so far. The first game was very good. Make sure to check it out. This is game 2, and as I said before, I'll be casting sets throughout this tournament in no particular order. I'll just be casting whatever I feel like is good and worthy of coming up on my YouTube channel. And make sure you guys let your friends know that HD is going to be casting some of the best games from DreamHack in the next couple of days. I'll try to do a set a day. Anyways, let's go ahead and get right into game 2 here. We do have Jaedong as the blue Zerg player in the bottom right hand corner of the map. Lucifron from Team Mousesports as the red Terran in the top left hand corner. And this is going to be cross spawn on Whirlwind, and Whirlwind is a huge map. And when you get cross spawn on this map, it is actually considered quote unquote bigger, larger, more terrain to traverse, more expansions than something like say the last map, Akalon Wastes. So we do have a little bit more to do with here. The V button is a nice little button here you can push to go ahead and go back into the normal mode without the DreamHack display. But anyways, yeah, this should be a good one. Now, Lucifron in the last game wasn't able to handle the heat once Jaedong was able to get into macro mode and he started pumping out Mutalisks. So this is something that Lucifron really has to keep his eye out for. This is once again from the quarterfinals. One of the sets from the quarterfinals. It's a best of 3 from DreamHack Summer. So yeah, a lot of pressure here. Obviously Jaedong going very far in the last DreamHack, which I believe was no, it was I said Valencia, but it was actually Stockholm in the last cast. So yeah, very far Jaedong went, and now Lucifron is gonna have to look to stop that. And he's already down 1 game in this set. Looks like his SCV going over to the top right hand corner will not find Jaedong's expansion up there, nor his main base, but he will see the Overlord. So he's going to go ahead and now send it down to the bottom right hand corner to find out where Jaedong is, and he will see that it is a cross spawn. And you know, going from the last game, I really like what Jaedong did. He played, excuse me, what Lucifron did. You know, he played a macro game. He went for a quick expansion out front. He went for, which he's going for again this game, he's going for a quick command center. And then he went for a macro CC, and I have to say, for the first 15 minutes of that game, he was in control of Jaedong. I can't believe I'm actually saying that. Someone being in control of Jaedong, that's usually not the way it goes. Jaedong has a matchup named after himself. It's called JVZ. You know, if you've ever seen Jaedong play Zerg versus Zerg, it's not ZvZ, it's JVZ. That's how good he is. But yeah, I actually think Lucifron was holding his own, maybe even had the edge a little bit for the first 15-20 minutes of the first game. But once Jaedong got to Mutalisks, and he got a lot of Mutalisks, it was like impossible for him to stop. And you know, it really seems like Jaedong feels comfortable playing that kind of old school Idra style, if you will, layer tech mass muta Zergling, and that's the way he destroys Terrans, and he's done it since, you know, this entire decade and last decade, or the entirety of the 2000s into 2010s. So yes, he is very good. Maybe not the entirety of the 2000s, but you know, you guys get the drift. And he's very good with his Mutalisks. So Lucifron will have to figure it out here. How will he stop those mutas? And how will he prevent Jaedong into going into that sort of Sky Zerg style? And so we'll see what happens. So there are a couple of Zerglings here chasing this SCV back home. It looks like Lucifron already prepared with 3 Marines on the patrol, and the Zergling's actually going to spread out. One goes to the left, one goes to the right. He's like, you die. No, brother, you die. And now 2 more Zerglings are coming in from the left. It looks like Jaedong wants to try to get in for a scout, but he is not going to be able to. Actually hesitated right there at the ramp, and it's okay. He probably thought that he would have been able to surround those Marines, but at the last second realized, hey, I actually don't have enough Zerglings. And actually it missed a chance to run into the Terran base there. But you can see Jaedong isn't really deterred. He's actually grabbing another expansion right now. He's getting a lot of gas going. And I'd have to say, if it worked the first game, why not go for the second game again? Go for those mass mutas. And the only real susceptibility when you go for that mass muta play style is an early game attack before you can realize that Spire, before you can get those Mutalisks out. If you get attacked, you could straight up lose the game. And this is what, you know, Terrans have thrived off of. They've thrived off of Zergs trying to go for quick 3 hatcheries and then going for Spire, going for mass mutas in Brood War and in Starcraft 2, and then they'll attack you before you can get those mutas out. So you do have to be careful if you're Jaedong here. It looks like we do have some Marines and Hellions coming out the front door. But 2 queens are here, and the creep is getting extended out as well. So those queens, while they are a little bit slow on grass, guess what? The purple creep is coming. So they'll speed up very quickly. And look at this, we actually have Hellbats on the way. There is an armory down, so it looks like Lucifron wants to go for Hellbats, and Hellbats are so good. They are extremely potent against Zerg. They destroy Zerglings. They can rip through queens, and even spine crawlers. They're not really, they're good, but you know, they can fall to Hellbats as well. Hellbats are basically like a beefed up marauder that shoots fire, so it's very, very powerful. And we do have Hellbats on the way here, so Jaedong will have to be careful about these Hellbats. Usually against Hellbats, small numbers of Hellbats, you can manage them if you have some roaches or if you have some spine crawlers and queens combined. So you have to really be careful about this early threat here. This one Marine trying to get away from those queens, but ends up getting a tentacle to the face. And more Hellions are coming in here. Now remember, these Hellions cannot transform into Hellbats because transformation servos was not upgraded at the tech lab, but the Terran player can make Hellbats originally from the factory, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's gonna ferry 2 Hellbats here, and Lucifron's gonna back that up with 4 Hellions, and this is a pretty scary force here early in the game, and I don't know if Jaedong's gonna be prepared for this. Jaedong trying to get to layer right now. It's a very late layer. You can see he was trying to gas up to get up the and gas up and drone up to try to get up all the saturation he needed, and now his drones are in a lot of trouble. He's trying to run them away behind the mineral line, but the Hellions are chasing them down, and those drones are getting so burnt up. And it looks like the drones are gonna try to run away, but oh my god, I think all of them are going to go down here. And Lucifron with 2 Hellbats and 4 Hellions kills off about 20 or so drones. And Jaedong is hurting right now. He's got first-degree burns all over his main base, and there are more Hellbats coming. So the fiery torture is not over yet. In fact, now it's just straight-up Hellbats, no more Hellions. In fact, and why not? They cost the same, and if you have transformation servers upgraded, it's a one-time investment. And now you can just make Hellbats for the duration of the game, and you can get transformation servers later in order to switch their tech if you ever need them to go back to Hellions. So this is great for Lucifron. And remember what I said about attacking a Zerg before he can get Spire up? Well, Spire is on the way, but Jaedong is having a very hard time managing control over his base right now. He does have Banelings out, and Banelings can definitely help against Hellbats. If they can explode on the Hellbats, then they can do some damage. Now, it's not because they're considered, they're not considered light, and they are considered biological and armored, but the thing is, usually Hellbats like to group up, and if you have a couple Banelings don't take too much damage from them, and they can get in range and then detonate. So yeah, this is a very interesting situation we have going on here for both these players. And really, it's just constant Hellbat dropping here. Something that David Kim has mentioned time and time again on Blizzard, on Battle.net and Blizzard, that, we're watching this. We know this is powerful. And right now, Jaedong is feeling the heat, quite literally. It looks like another expansion getting dropped by 2 Hellbats while his main is being occupied by 3, and or 4, I should say. And that one medevac is so low on HP, but as long as it has even 1 health, it can continue to ferry those Hellbats back and forth between these 2 bases. And now finally, the Mutalisks are out, but Jaedong has taken so much damage already. Will he be able to get back in this game with his Mutas? Now, he has revealed them, of course, on the Terran Army. You can see on that production tab, a lot of things coming, 2-2, Stim, +1 armor as well. More Hellbats are coming in, but at this moment in time, this is when Lucifron has to be very careful. He knows Mutalisks are on the map. Hellbats and Medevats are not going to be effective anymore. He needs to throw up missile turrets. I just saw 4 missile turrets being produced on that production tab, which is great. And he needs to make sure he might want to start producing some Widow Mines as well, and really fortify against these Mutalisks, because this is why he lost last game. He has to play this carefully. It looks like there are still Hellbats coming, though. Perhaps he's using these to buy himself a little bit of time at his main base. And you can see, yeah, a lot of missile turrets coming up now. In fact, 3 at the exterior expansion. That is the 3rd base for Lucifron. And these Mutalisks are now starting to make their way over to the top left-hand side. We do have combat shields on the way for the Terran Army as well. Combat shields is absolutely vital for these Marines if they want to deal with the Mutalisks. The Mutalisks are going to fly straight up into the main base, and 2 medevacs immediately going to be picked off here. In fact, just 1, as Afterburners was used in an emergency situation to get that medevac out of harm's way. Very good evasive maneuvering right there by Lucifron. These Mutalisks are now going to go behind the natural expansion. A lot of SCVs starting to take some damage here, but Lucifron in position. It looks like these Mutalisks taking some damage on the way out, and Lucifron with a very nice hold there as he pulled his Marines and sandwiched them against the missile turrets, forcing them out of his base. Says, get the hell out of here. A lot of production going on here. Widowmine's on the way as well. That Overlord is pooping to prevent a 4th Expo from going down. Very wise from Jaedong to buy himself more time. He knows that these Mutalisks are not, they're not going to straight up win him the game, but they can allow him to get back into this game and dominate Lucifron, just like in the first game. If he can maintain map control, if he can continue the pressure, that's the power of Mutalisks, and it's very good in the hands of a Zerg player who has good multitasking. And you can see both sides have lost about the same number of resources here, about 3.5k per side. So Jaedong has been doing a pretty good job with these Mutalisks so far. Keeping the pressure on Lucifron. You can see how the tables are slowly starting to turn a little bit as Lucifron now has been on the receiving end for the last couple of minutes. A lot of pressure from these Mutalisks. +2/+2 now finishing up for the Terran army. 2/2 also finishing up for the Zerg. In fact, that's ground and melee as well as flyer attacks. It looks like level 1. Here comes a medevac over on the right hand side, loaded up with 8 Marines here, and these Marines are fully upgraded with stim and combat shields. Not quite having 2/2 yet, but they can do a lot of damage if Jaedong is not prepared. But he's got a surveillance squad of overlords here on the right hand side, not to mention an overseer and a Mutalisk too. I highly doubt this medevac is going to get any damage done. The entire mutapack has been called back home for homeland security, and these Marines and Marauders, they are not going to get the job done. You know what? I just had an interesting thought. What if what if Terrans get a new unit in the future, Legacy of the Void? They get like a bomber, like not a suicide bomber, but somebody who goes into the enemy base and plants a bomb there. That would be kind of cool, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's what the Widowmine does. Plants itself underneath the creep and becomes a bomb. But yeah, we do have a medevac going over here on the left-hand side of the map, bottom left-hand side, going to the bottom left, and these Mutalisks, I think Jaedong saw them. In fact, yeah, he knows about it. He's going to intercept and, oh, crushes that medevac in midair. Those 2 Hellbats never even got a chance. And now it looks like the Terran army pushing into the middle field. Now, you know, Lucifron still has 188 supply. He's pretty much maxed, as is Jaedong. All their upgrades at 2/2, but Jaedong going into the pocket expansion, the 4th base under attack, and all these SCVs and their moms could not repair this planetary fortress. It shall go down. Widowmine's coming in, but they were not planted in position. A lot of changelings getting dropped down there as well. And these Marines trying to chase the Mutalisks away, but only just really pushing them out as they did their job, man. They killed off a planetary fortress. And that is 1 base less that Lucifron does not have, as Jaedong now is approaching a 5th hatchery, and really Lucifron needs that 4th base to stand toe-to-toe with the Zerg player. He does have an upgraded advantage. 3/3 is on the way, and he is actually pushing right now with a pretty large army. Marines, Widowmines, and a few Hellbats in the back, as well as medevacs as well. This entire army, save the Widowmines, can be healed by those medevacs, and here comes Lucifron. He's got to get those Widowmines underground. He does get them underground, and they are detonating as he uses the choke point to basically funnel the entire Zerg army into that choke. He forces the cancel on the hatchery, and he has gained a little bit of position here against the Zerg. He's going to continue pushing him, but in the meantime, Jaedong comes in the background. He kills off a ton of SCVs. Only 42 SCVs remain, and now Jaedong comes in with this ground army, but Lucifron, with a pretty good spread of his Marines, keeps them alive. Will he be able to? No! He doesn't pay attention to the second wave, and those Banelings certainly connected. Now, the problem for Lucifron is he's got about half the number of workers that Jaedong has. We saw what happened in the last game. When you run low on workers, and as any race, you are in a lot of trouble. And right now, I dare say Lucifron is in a lot of trouble. I don't know how he's going to get out of this situation. He's actually lost less than the Zerg has, but the sheer matter of the fact is he doesn't have that many workers. He needs to get his SCVs and saturation going, maybe throw down another macro CC in base where it's safe, and pump up the meals here. because he is facing up against a 4-base Zerg, not to mention it is Jaedong. Now, he does have map control. He's controlling the Xel'Naga Tower in the middle that will allow him to launch attacks all over the map should he choose to, but the creep tumor spread is pretty good, and here comes some more Zerglings from Jaedong. He's coming in to finish the job, and Lucifron doesn't have troops nearby. Well, he does have troops nearby, but they weren't in position, and look at those Zerglings just ravaging the SCVs, now down to 36 under 87. He's almost got triple the number of workers now that the Terran player has. And look at this Jaedong being clever, plants down a Zergling underground, researching burrow just to annoy. And really, just the burrow research by itself is so worth it here, because for you know, whatever it costs, it just costed the Terran player Lucifron a mule, basically, forcing him to throw down a comsat. So, and all the mining time that would have been lost, or has been lost, because that CC wasn't on the ground. So Lucifron really starting to fall apart here. Jaedong just kicking it into high gear. He's got more gears to go. Like right now, you know, he's in like 5th or 6th gear. He's got 7 or 8 or 9 gears, and basically Lucifron is topped out here. He doesn't have any more speed left to him, and Jaedong is just continuing to crush. Here comes some more Zerglings down. Will those Widow Mines get down in time? They do have Drilling Claws, and the Drilling Claws launching off their Sentinel missiles. I should say their Widow Mines launching off their Sentinel missiles, and the Marines actually spreading apart there. Very nice job. Good spread by the Marines to avoid the Sentinel missiles so that they don't take friendly fire damage. The Brootlings coming out of the hatchery doing some damage to those weakened Terran army, but at the same time, once again, the command center falls down as those mutas pick them off, and so really it's kind of eye for an eye here. And at this moment, look at how weak those Widow Mines are, but they have their payload about to be recharged, and you can see how Lucifron's going to try to pick off all these Baneling eggs before they can morph out. Oh my god, but the Sentinel missiles killing off not only Zerg units, but also medevacs there. You can see that that Zerg army was running in, and it actually attracted the missiles underneath the medevacs, and the splash damage from the missiles killed off all the medevacs. And that's one of the things you just got to be careful about when you have a weak Terran army like that. You know, just one wrong Sentinel missile and it's all over for you, baby. So Jaedong is victorious in this best of 3. What a game that was, and what a set between these two players. There are tons of amazing games left to go here in this tournament, so I will be casting more. Hope you guys stay tuned, and this is HD signing out.